You're welcome.
The market seems to be holding on to the bull dearly. Who kept the market up today?
Today, mainly the market was kept up to the agricultural sector. Out of the top 5 gainers, 3 of them are from the agricultural sector. We had Williamson Tea, we had Kakuzi, and we had IGADS. Actually, IGADS went up a full 10% on a volume of 54,000 shares. Yeah.
Okay. For the first time in a couple of weeks, Sasini did shave off about 8% to settle at 95 shillings. Perhaps as investors begin to book gains there. The agriculture firms, as you have correctly mentioned, have led the bullish market trend. How long do you see the agro stocks maintaining their attractiveness? And traditionally, how does that cycle behave?
Well, the agricultural is mainly their dependence on a number of factors. As of now, there's been sufficient rainfall in the country. There was El Nino, and that led to increases in the production of tea and coffee. Globally, there's a shortage of, the demand for tea is higher than the supply. And Kenya now is a leading exporter of tea. So if you look at all those factors, then you see why people are rushing into the agricultural stocks. Although the rally has been on for a week or so right now, but I don't think it will continue for much longer, because we are seeing supply coming in counters whereby there was no supply the last 2 or 3 days. As you mentioned, Sasini. We saw supply coming in Kakuzi, although the price is still edging upward. It's not going up 10% as was the case within the last couple of days.
Let's turn our attention to Kenya Airways. Buyers begin to be aggressive on that particular counter. Today it competitively moved 1.8 million shares between 61 shillings and 65 shillings. It is one of the best performing stocks of 2010. In the near term, how do you see that stock performing?
Kenya Airways, there's a lot of aggressive buying, particularly with the foreign investors. What we can attribute it to is there are a number of factors which have led to investors taking interest in Kenya Airways. You remember they hedged on their fuel costs, on their fuel contracts. That was way back when the prices were quite high. And last year they had to, the loss was mainly attributed to the hedging of the contracts, because the prices of the oil was really depressed, and they had to report it as unrealized gains in their profit and loss. But now we are seeing the oil prices gaining steadily, which means that those losses are being offset as the prices come up. Also, globally, the economies are recovering. And statistically, when the economy recovers, the airline industry normally leads the pack in terms of recovery, because we'll see there'll be more volume in terms of cargo. People will be taking more vacations, so passenger numbers will go up. There's also the World Cup coming up, so as much as that's a future event, people are factoring it in when making their purchases right now.
So what are you telling investors, keeping in mind that we're likely to hear their annual results by the end of March?
Yes. Well, at a price of 64, I'd advise investors to go in with caution, because the price has really picked up. Today it was actually quite strong at 64.50. But whoever the investors who have the counters, they should actually hold onto them. But for new buyers, they should move in with caution. Okay. Just don't go buying like as if it will go up indefinitely, because I mean it can only go up, so it will go up so high.
Okay, so as we move ahead, how are investors eyeing the market? The rally is exciting, but there's likely to be a correction, as other analysts are putting it. Are you also holding on to the same opinion?
Yes. As is when there is a rally, we see speculators coming in. And as much as there are counters which are going up because of fundamentally there's fundamental issues to back them up, there are also some other counters which are going up purely on the basis of speculation. We have counters like Express, counters like Everready. There really is nothing going on in there, but that's why speculators that's why we're seeing a lot of speculation coming in. And we'll also, in the near future, probably the next 2-3 days, I do expect to see a lot of profit taking.